What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dark Adventure comic book review. We are in the beginning of a month already. Man, it's already summer's half over. When the books released?
They were released on August 2nd, 2017. The first week of August!
We are officially halfway through the summer.
Well, July kind of seemed like forever to me, at least.
It didn't seem like forever for me. I feel like July just sped by.
I don't know, maybe that...
You go out more than I do.
And, well, out
I work here, you work there.
Yeah, I was about to say, what do you mean I go out?
You work outside.
Work? Yes. And what's up, Tevia, who joined us in chat?
Oh, what's up, Tevia? We just started. Good time, man. Open. So we have not that many books this week. If you check the description...
16. Seriously, well...
And most of them are mine, I believe. I think you only have like 5
and
or
there's
6.
one digital that didn't come out this week?
Yes.
Okay, so that's...
One digital that did not come out this week, and another book that did come out this week, but I didn't get my hands on reading it yet, but I'm going to throw it out as an honorable mention after we get into the book that we're going to kickstart this review with, and that is Argo 5, issue number 23. Yes.
Dancing!
Dan introduced us to the Hercules in the Argo universe here. So, as you can see in the cover, we have Blue Dynamo and Chain Reaction. They're the main stars of this story. And I love how the book opens up and they're in an eBay auction. Oh, and Blue Dynamo wants... At first I couldn't tell who wanted it because Chain Reaction was paying for it. But I guess it was something he was buying from Blue Dynamo and I must have missed the dialogue somewhere. But Blue Dynamo wanted this figure that he won on eBay and he got an address. And Chain Reaction's like, yo, dude, let's just go to the house and get it ourselves. Why are we going to bother letting the guy ship it? We'll just go grab it now. We won. He's a hero person. He's a hero entrepreneur. Let's go there and let's go pick it up ourselves. And they go. And this guy turns out to be this humongous collector of superhero things. And what happens is Chain Reaction, of course, he's a very nosy person. He goes snooping around at all the stuff that the guy has in the house. And then something happens and something breaks. And it turns out that something was keeping an evil deity, I forgot the name of that person, prisoner. And he blows the whole house up. And we find out that the old man, who, by the way, it's an old man who has this house and this huge collection. He's a huge fan of superheroes and whatnot. We learn that this old man, in reality, is Hercules. And it turns out there's a whole story to why he didn't know he was Hercules up to this point. Read this issue. And it becomes this huge blow-up between this deity versus Hercules. It was amazing. It was awesome. And then in the middle of all this, I love how Dan still threw in the Gladiatra and Law and Order kind of rivalry. He's keeping that fresh, and I was talking to him about it, actually, and it's hilarious that he's still keeping that bitterness between the two of them going, where Law and Order's doing something, and then Gladiatra shows up. She's like, I don't want to hear you. I don't want anything. And then it's a funny last page. I'm not going to spoil it. That, too, you must read. So Hercules wins. He goes back to Olympia, and he leaves Chain Reaction and Blue Dynamo with the figure they won, and that's it. I thought this was an excellent issue. I love the artwork in this book. I love the way Hercules was drawn. And I was going to mention something about the pinups. He did something special with the pinups this week. This week he had this issue. He had a full body picture of the characters of Argo 5, and then he had like a bust, like from the chest up, shot of them looking sideways. I thought that was... I like the theme. I know you can't always work with a theme for your pinups because, you know, when you get an artist, you know, you're lucky to get what you get. But I love that this book had a theme for the pinups. Those pinups looked amazing, especially page after page after page. You got every single character in Argo 5. There was even a Law and Order one, but that one didn't have the profile picture. It only had, like, her. I loved it. I thought the pinups were great. This book was great. 5 out of 5. I love Argo 5. Argo 5 is my indie Justice League book that I want. And I hear that Argo 5 issue 24 is going to printer. 25 is in the works as we speak. And the double shot issue 2 will be coming out soon. What's up, Jesse? What's going on, man? How you feeling? Hope you're feeling good. And now we are going to get into this week's books. But before we get into this week's books, it's not on the list, so don't look in the description for it. Predator Hunters, issue 4 or 5. One of the issues came out this week. I did not get a chance to read it yet. I do enjoy the series. Recommend you check it out. If I get my hands on it, I might throw it in next week's review. If not, at least I mentioned it here. I'll read it, and obviously I'll do the next issue. If there isn't, I don't know if it's a conclusion, I'll definitely do it next week. If it's not, then I'll do the conclusion whenever. But it's a really good series also. Definitely check it out. Now we're getting into this week's book. Now, this week's book, this book is only 25 cents. And I could not find it on Midtown. It's not available to pre-order yet. What's up, Justin? Wow, we got Justin in the comments as well. I could not find this to buy a physical copy because I wanted to get a physical copy of it also. Sheena, this is from Dynamite, by the way. Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. This is issue 0. It's a 25-cent issue 0 introductory issue to Sheena. Oh my God, the artwork in this book was gorgeous. The story was okay. It was about her telling this kid's oh God, what are those stupid things called? The things that go in the air. The things with the cameras all the time. Shoot, a drone. She's chasing after a drone. She thinks at first you believe it's like an alien, and then we find out that it's really this kid who's shooting that was recording this whole drone thing. It's a whole sequence of her chasing after it. There's a couple of action scenes that are really good. Lots of fun, but the artwork, I believe, is truly what shined in this book. I loved it. I definitely say it's 25 cents. One quarter, and you get this entire issue. Do it. Just do it. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. If I can get my hands on a physical copy, I am, because this is a gorgeous, artwork-wise, and story is definitely interesting as well. Gorgeous book. Doesn't she look like Sheena the She-Devil from Marvel? I believe they're the same, if I'm not mistaken. What's up, Frank? What's going on, man? I think she is, Tevye. I'm not too sure if there's a difference. Dynamite does some great stuff. Oh, yes, they do. What's up, Firestorm?
All right, so this is my book, and I didn't type this in because I put like a slash. But anyway, Green Hornet 66 meets the Spirit, issue number 2.
Well, what'd you do? You put Green Hornet?
Yeah, I put Green Hornet 66 / the Spirit because
that's fine.
Yeah, because every book that
what's up, Bobby? What's going on, man?
You know, I'm used to putting the /. But see, here's an interesting thing about this issue. Now, do you remember the last issue where we thought the Spirit was this other person? It actually is. In disguise of the Spirit, we find out that it's Ebony. Now, Ebony is this kid detective who was investigating with the Spirit. I remember in the issues back in the Spirit where he was going after the octopus, and then there was that huge explosion at the warehouse. They take you back to that scene, but since Ebony thinks the Spirit is dead or wants people to think he's dead, he plays as the Spirit. So that way people will still believe that he's still around, but it's a different person. So with Green Hornet and Kato, Green Hornet is trying to say, you know, I know that you're not the real Spirit, but I want to really meet the real Spirit. And as that's happening, they face off against the octopus. And there's this old man. I don't know if I got a name from him or anything because I tried looking for the name. He actually manages to get away and escape and everything. But I really just like the backstory because now it actually makes sense that the Spirit is actually by another person. But speaking of that, at the end of this issue, he goes and says somebody wants, some guy named Green Hornet wants to meet you, and with that purple glove, you know that is the real Spirit. So
here we go. The difference, they're different. The Sheena Marvel has Shana. Okay, they are different. Okay, Cable's okay. They're talking about Cable. By the way, Justin, I didn't realize you didn't have the mod wrench. Now you do.
So we know the Spirit's alive.
So they are different people, everybody. Shayna and Sheena are two different people. Just even like though they kind of look the same.
Well,
I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going into physicals. The Walking Dead issue number 170. They got to 170 issues of The Walking Dead. And in this issue, I really enjoy this issue, actually. This actually talks about Rick telling Jesus, like saying, Dwight, was it Dwight or Jesus? Oh, I'm sorry, Jesus, that's saying, you know, I want to trust Negan, but he's not, he's like in a bad place right now, but he wants to know that there's some good in him. Mm-hmm. So he wants to see that, but he sends Jesus to look after him, where he's fighting off against zombies. He says one stuff, gotta save the stuff when people are around. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I should trust that. Then we have Dwight who talks to Maggie about, what what was it, Maggie? Laura about, you know, Snap threatening Rick and everything. And then we have William who comes in to give some food. And then we have this thing where Eugene saves Sidnick with the walkers. And I'm going to save, not save, I want to show you guys artwork.
Go ahead.
Yeah. This is the artwork in the comic book. And after Eugene saves him, you know, he's like saying to Eugene, you know, it's required for months that you saved my life. And what was wrong is that Rosetta, she loved Sid, and Eugene wasn't too happy about that. To be continued.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a love triangle there. Good issue. And no other stuff. Oh yeah. And no other stuff I left out too. But you guys have to get. All right. All
right, TMNT. This is going to be a very fun month for TMNT fans, and I'm going to tell you guys why. Let me fix the camera. The camera's a little bit too much like this way. I didn't even realize that. Nobody corrected me.
I'm Blue Double D. I love that song.
Yeah, it gets stuck in my head though. Okay, there's 2 TMNT books this week, and now it makes sense. Remember last on Frontline Live, I was saying, gee, they're bringing out issue 73. They just finished 72 last week. It's explained. Issue 73 is the beginning, the trial of Krang, part 1. So Krang is going on trial. Try mixing those two up. Oh God, I'm not done. So the Turtles end up going. You see that Krang is getting set up for the trial. He's like, this is overkill. You guys know I'm going to be guilty. Yada yada. So he ends up hiring an assassin. What's his name? Hunter. He calls him Hunter. So I'm not sure who the Hunter is. I think that Honeycutt actually names him. It's his name is Harker. HAKK-R. Hacker. We'll call him Hacker. Works. So the Turtles end up going to the trial. Leatherface is somebody different. Leatherhead ends up going to the trial as well because he's going to testify against Krang because the people want to put him on an honest trial. What's up, Spartan? So the Turtles come in. They're praised as the heroes of the Krang War because they are heroes. And then, of course, the Hacker ends up attacking the man who's going to lead, the councilman that's going to lead the whole trial. And before that, though, the councilman shows the 5 people that need to come to the trial to speak against Krang. And without them, Krang will be found innocent. He'll go free. That's when Hacker attacks. He kills the councilman, and the Turtles go after him. They fight him, and he escapes. And now the Turtles have a new mission. They're going to be going with their friend to find all these other witnesses and convince them that they have to come back, you know, to do the trial to put Krang away forever, basically. Now, the same week, we got TMNT Dimension X Part 1. And what this series is going to be is in each issue, the Turtles, as well as Hacker, the Turtles are going to find the witnesses to bring them to the trial, and Hacker is trying to beat them to the witnesses to kill them.
So this is not a totally different story?
It's continuing from 73. So basically, it's the same thing like all the other miniseries. It's connected to the main series, and this is going to be a weekly series for the next 5 weeks. I believe there's 5 weeks this month. And it's going to follow the Turtles trying to find the witnesses before Hacker, and Hacker trying to... It's basically a race against the assassin. They're there to make sure they get the witnesses before Hacker shows up and kills them and bring them back to the trial. Now, this is the downside. I do not like the artwork in this book. I am not a fan of the artwork at all. I'm really, truly not a fan of the artwork. So the Turtles find the first witness, who obviously Hacker shows up and tries to convince the witness that, hey, they're really the assassins, not me. Of course, the dope that this person is follows Hacker instead. We get this person's background story and why this person knows Krang is evil and why he's going to testify against Krang.
Who is the artist? That looks familiar. The drawing.
Pablo Tunica.
I thought it was someone else. All right, but go ahead, continue.
So anyway, the Turtles get trapped. They escape. They get to Hacker. They save the witness. Hacker gets knocked away. The end. So the Turtles win round 1. Will they win every single round? Who knows? Well, all I know is they have to save all the witnesses. If they're not able to save the witnesses, then Krang goes away scot-free. And this is a connecting cover. As you get, oh, well, I shouldn't have put it back in the cover. As you can see, here's Leo's foot. The next cover is going to have Leonardo. I don't know if they put the cover in the back over here. Let's see if they did. I doubt it. They did in 73. They didn't. Let me get you guys. It says it in issue 73.
Oh, we gotta go back.
There we go. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's all done. It's supposed to be like a wrestling ring. So, all right. While I'm putting this away, I'm going to throw this out there. New Gods. This is for Jack Kirby's 100. This is New Gods Special. It's a one-shot or an issue number 1 or whatever you want to call it. Orion versus Calabac. I loved it. If you are a fan of the New Gods, you're going to enjoy this book. I love the artwork in it. I loved Orion. I liked his personality. I feel like the writer this book it felt like New Gods all around. For those of you that don't know, Orion is the son of Darkseid, but was traded to Allfather to keep peace between the New Gods and Apocalypse. Darkseid gave one of his firstborn to Highfather, and Highfather gave his firstborn, which was Mr. Miracle, to Darkseid, and that was their treaty, their peace treaty. And obviously it turned out bad for Darkseid because Mr. Miracle ends up escaping Darkseid when he becomes an adult, and Orion swears against Darkseid in every shape and form. And Calabac is actually his brother, but the fight was awesome, and the conflict of him not becoming like his father. It was, yeah, I see JLS knows. Jesse, you know. New Gods, it was a good read. It truly was a very good read. You get another backup story about other characters, and then a third story, which is actually a reprint of an older New God story by Jack Kirby. Oh, man. It was because Marvel didn't, because Jack, no, Tevye, that's why. Because it's not going to happen. Man, Tevye, you find the weirdest ways to say, like, we're talking about New Gods and Jack Kirby, and he's talking about bring the Fantastic Four back.
Let's move on.
But I think truly that this book was fun. If you like the New Gods, pick this book up. It was good. What's up, Jay? What's up, Kenneth Carley Jr.? What's going on, man? But yeah, this was great. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Definitely check it out.
All right, Spider-Man Deadpool issue number 20. The Search for Slapstick is in this issue. And what I like about this issue is that they finally got the personalities fine.
Actually, I'm going to agree with you, Kenneth. It is in my top. It actually is in my top this week.
Yeah, so knowing that it was like a role reversal that Spider-Man wanted to kill, whereas Deadpool really didn't. The roles were actually the right way, where Spider-Man tells Deadpool, you know, let's not do any killings or anything because they want to go after Slapstick to save him and everything. And, of course, you know Deadpool, what he wants to do. So they go after him, and Slapstick also... what's his name? El Toro, I think, is the one that kidnapped him, and he makes a new friend also, Slapstick. And there's like a whole outfight thing. Like, it was an average read, sort of. It said the end, but I know it's going to continue because it's the ending story arc of the Slapstick. And in the end, Deadpool just shoots Slapstick, and then Spider-Man's like saying, "What the hell? I told you no killing." But you know, Deadpool, he always knows how to break the fourth wall and everything. And yeah. It was an okay read. It was average. Like
I loved and have a complaint about Iron Fist issue number 6. I loved it. Number 1, I loved it. Iron Fist is heading back to Kunlun. That's his new goal, and he's on this airplane going back, going somewhere. I forget where he's headed to. I forgot where. I think he was headed to somewhere. To Los Angeles, was it? Vancouver. He's in Canada, and he's landing. And then this group of people are on the runway waiting for him. They're these cloaked people. We find out who they are later. They're seers or something like that were sent by the Seeker to kill Iron Fist. And Iron Fist comes out, it becomes this huge fight. You know, he doesn't know who sent them or why. But then, what's his name shows up? Oh, my God. Why
the
Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi shows up to save Daniel. He tells Daniel that there was a hit put out on him by somebody. And these guys are puppets to the Seer, S-E-E-R. Or Seer?
The Seer, yeah.
Seer. And what happens is they're not in control of themselves. They're being controlled by him. So one guy ends up running away, and Iron Fist and Shang-Chi chase after him. The rest of the book is kind of a chase until they get to the Seer. and bad things happen to Shang-Chi, and it turns out we find out the person that put the hit on Daniel was, oh my God, Chao Sin. This goes back to the first story arc again. Chao Sin was put on trial, and now all of a sudden, he's still a part of the Iron Fist story. And he's like, I'm delivering a message. He's like, Chao Sin says that he's going to reclaim Kunlun, and he's going to be the next Iron Fist. And it kind of ends with a really good cliffhanger, but it's like, come on, man.
Oh, no.
We just ended the Chao Sin thing. Iron Fist, for me, has been decent series, but not great as past Iron Fist runs. I will say this Iron Fist series is better than the one that was right before this, the one that Michael reviewed.
I thought
the first volume and the second volume of Iron Fist definitely were stronger than this so far. But it's building up. The thing is, we're in issue 6. This is supposed to be a new story arc where, you know, Shang-Chi shows up, and it's all connected still to Chao Sin and him still wanting Danny's Iron Fist ability, Chi. And it's like, come on, man. He beat Chao Sin. Why is Chao Sin still chasing it? I mean, you should have just kept it as the first story arc. I guess this is going to be something that happens until he goes back to Kunlun. But, man, I don't know. Until Chao Sin, I guess, is completely and utterly killed and eliminated from the playing field, we're going to have him chasing after Daniel throughout this whole arc. That was my only complaint. I still loved the issue. I thought the art was good. I thought the story was great. I loved the kung fu that was in it. It's just, man, I thought we were done with Chao Sin. It's like, okay, we did it. The first 5 issues, story arc done. Next. But no. Next is still continuing with Chao Sin still chasing after Danny. X-Men Gold issue 9, definitely the X-Men book with all the action. And obviously the X-Men book that is no longer, as you can see, part of Secret Empire. They're done. But X-Men Blue still is part of Secret Empire. So Kitty Pryde and Colossus, Rachel, and Nightcrawler. We get to see 2 sides here. Okay, so, and we get to see a little bit of the resurrection of Omega Red. But in this issue, we get to see Kitty's going to Congress. And she asked Pete to go with her. And she's like, well, you're the muscle of our group. And he's like, at first he's like excited. He's like, oh, you want me to go with you? You know, we'll go together. And she's like, well, you're the muscle. And then you could see that the chemistry between Pete and Kitty is still there. It's just Kitty doesn't want to take a step backwards, as she claims, because if she goes back out with him, it's going backwards. But at the same time, Pete wants to move forward with her. And you got Rachel and Nightcrawler who are going out on a date, and Nightcrawler is kind of like second-guessing his and her relationship. He's like, you know, think of all the other relationships. And she's like, yeah, well, think about our time in Excalibur. And I forgot the 2 people she mentioned. And she's like, they're still together, and it didn't hinder their thing. So you got Nightcrawler kind of reluctantly he wants it, but at the same time he's worried. And you got Pete who's trying to go back out with Kitty. And Kitty, it's like opposites. Kitty's the one that's kind of reluctant, not wanting to go backwards. You get the conference that happens at Congress where Kitty is fighting for the Deportation Act not to go through office. And then, lo and behold, Whiplash shows up at the day of the, well, first you get, like I said, you get a little bit more about Pete and Kitty Pryde. And he's like, she's like, you know, we can't move. I want to move forward. He's like, I guess then the next logical step would be marriage. And it kind of takes Kitty Pryde back a little bit. She's like, are you asking me to marry you? And he's like, no, I'm saying, but that would be our future. That would be what we have to do if we want to move forward as a couple. And I like it. You can see, unlike Kitty and any other character, like Peter Quill or Iceman, Kitty and Colossus always had this chemistry, and they always, in my opinion, belong together. I mean, even with Future's End, not Future's End, wow, that was bad. Days of Future Past, you see that they end up together and have a daughter. It works. Kitty Pryde and Colossus are the 2 that should be together. You know what I mean, guys? So I feel like I would like their relationship to kind of go back. I'd like them to end up together somehow again. But yeah, so Whiplash, out of all the people in the world, ends up, you know, against everything that's going on. He ends up attacking the voting. Kitty Pryde and Colossus end up taking him down. Unfortunately, though, because of the attack now, they voted to put it through to Congress. If it passes Congress and doesn't get vetoed, the X-Men and all mutants are going to be deported out of the United States of America. Whoa. I have a feeling either the president or somebody is going to downvote this before it completely and utterly goes through, or they'll upvote it, they'll go to Russia, and then they'll end up at some point they're going to come back to America, or they're never going to get deported to begin with. I just don't see that happening. The mutants getting deported out of America, unless there's a storyline that or a story arc that would bring them back to America. I just don't see it happening. Yeah, they have history together, exactly. And yes, Whiplash is an Iron Man villain, but he ended up in this universe. X-Men Gold has been the strongest of the X books. I agree. Waiting for the trade to come out and read all. Oh man, you're gonna love the trade, Kenneth. When you read it, you're gonna love it. It's really, really good. So I hope that the deportation gets resolved and we get back to some X-Men stuff. I don't want it to get too political where it's too connected. I hope that they fixed it and it's done and over with. I'd love to see Kitty and Pete together. It's obvious that Rachel and Kurt are going to get together. The book has so many things going on with it, and Omega Red is back now, so there's so much going on that it's awesome. I loved it. Generations, first book got dropped, and that's the strongest. I don't know what to call this book. I truly don't. So what I did was in the description, I called this Generations #1 Hulk. Because
totally awesome.
Well, no, I put Hulk because it's Totally Awesome Hulk and Banner Hulk. It's Hulk.
Oh.
It's the Hulk. I call it Generations. I'm just probably going to end up calling it Generations #1 because I believe each issue, is each issue a one-shot? I'm not sure if each issue is a one-shot or not. It's too political already when it comes to deport. Yeah, exactly. It is.
What's up, Alan?
And what's up, Alan? Yeah, that's right. So this was awesome. We don't know how it happened. All we know is that Amadeus Cho was in Washington, D.C., and then all of a sudden he gets transported back in time where he meets the Hulk. And really, this is just Amadeus Cho and Bruce Banner when he's not hulked out, just talking. You know, Bruce sees that Cho has the ability to control his hulking in and out, and he wants to know what Cho's secret is. And Cho's like, I have the control, I have the ability to do it. And remember, this is taking place in the past, so you've got the army going after the Hulk. I did not like that Generations issue at all. Really, you didn't like it? I thought it was okay. Would I say it's groundbreaking, amazing, watch it, read it? No. But I thought it was good because Cho walked away from this book.
It is a one-shot.
It is a one-shot, okay. Each of the Generations is a one-shot, so it's just #1. Cho walked away realizing that being a Hulk is not really truly a gift. It's a curse. And he sees what's happening to Banner in the past, and now going back to the present, because he ends up back in the present, he's like, I've got to figure out a way to rid myself of this curse, and it obviously leads into Incredible Hulk 709, where Cho is going to be going to the return of Planet Hulk. Now, Jesse, I'd love to hear why you didn't like this issue. I'd really like to hear it. I wouldn't say this is my least favorite book of the week, but definitely not. Okay. Yeah, but I would love to know why you didn't like this book, Jesse. Now, again, this isn't my worst pick of the week, but at the same time, it wasn't exactly my top pick, so to speak, either. I don't know. Looking at all my other books, it might land in my top 5, but at the very bottom of the top 5, possibly. So this is why I don't like doing a top 5, because honest to God, I really don't like rating my books above one another. I truly either enjoy a book or I don't. It's hard to say whether a book is better than another book.
Oh, for me, I have 4 books this week, so
Mike has a top 4 again. Green Lanterns 28, Out of Time. I don't know. The Green Lanterns, this issue was all right. This is a lower pick for me also. All the Green Lanterns, all the first Green Lanterns end up on planet Earth. And, of course, a Kryptonian ends up as a Green Lantern as well. And they all come face-to-face with Simon and Jessica. What's his name? Rami ends up sending a message through all the rings saying, you know, Oa's being attacked. I've given you all these rings in order to come and help us and become the guardians of the galaxy, so the protectors of the police of the galaxy or whatever. And they don't want to. As a matter of fact, they all want to use their rings selfishly for their own personal needs. And it's kind of like, you know, Jessica's like, you need to train. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps, and we're gonna train you. And none of them really care. They all want to do their own thing. And what happens is there's no safeguards on these rings. And of course, the one Kryptonian ends up dying because the ring sucks so much willpower out of her that it destroys her. And that's what kind of fuels the others to be like, okay, we'll train with you, but if you screw up, we're going to come after you. And then you see that Balthum is attacking Oa, so Jess and Simon don't have that much time to train these lanterns to send them to protect Oa. And will they go with them? Because that will kind of screw around with time. Very, very, I don't know. I just thought this was an okay issue. I need to know who that is, Alan.
Oh, Rob from Godzilla 54. The actor who played in Godzilla.
Oh, okay. 54. See female Kryptonian become a Green Lantern. That was, and then she died. Green Lantern's a good issue. Lots of action and tension throughout the issue. And the ending's a bit emotional as well. You really feel for Jessica in this part of the story. I agree, but I don't know. It was okay. See, yeah. It was an okay story, not $5 worthy. It wasn't $5. Oh, we're talking about Hulk. It's okay, not $5 worthy. It started off confusing, of course, because we don't know how it happened with no context. Exactly, we don't know how it happened, and that's one of my main complaints. Took what people like about Banner and put it in show, realizing it's a curse. That's true. Took a lot of the old and put it in the new. If that's what we're getting out of the generations, then I'm already disappointed in the new Marvel marketing campaign. Possibly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was an okay issue this week. I just feel like it's a lot of setting up for the big attack that's going to happen or the big defend for Oa. Nightwing 26. Spiral's back. Spiral's back. Of course, when I saw Huntress on the cover, already I kind of was like, oh. Then I opened the book. I don't know why, but the artwork kind of, at first it threw me off, and then I guess it got better as the book went on for a bit. It was all right, but Huntress is there, and she hears that it's a gangster that Dick's going after, so she wants to tag along.
What's Robotech, Justin? I never heard of that.
Robotech? That was from Dynamite. Robotech #1 came out 2 weeks ago. It was based on a game.
Or did I read it and I forgot? I don't think I read it. I don't remember reading it. Or did I read
Oh, no, I have it. I have it. I'll show it to you. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll put it as your number 5.
Yeah, but that was weeks
I thought we were done with Spiral too, but of course, Sean being with Pigeon, at first she's like, I don't want to be a villain anymore. I like being Sean. There's the burial for the kid that died from the Runaways. You got Dick and Huntress going after this person, thinking that they're a gangster. We find out, first of all, Sean goes back to being a villain who didn't see that coming. No wonder why her and Nightwing broke up. And we find out that the person that they were chasing after, thinking he was a gangster, he was Agent 19, and he worked for Spiral. And the second hand is not run by gangsters. It's run by Spiral. Oh, Grayson didn't die. He became, oh God, no. Robotech is anime from the 80s, came out on 8/2. Yeah, it did. I have it. So, I don't know how I feel about this arc yet. That's yours.
Oh. I'm used to getting...
I don't read Green Lantern.
I'm looking at the Robotech thing, and I want to know if we have it. So I can
we do. I have it.
All right. Green Irish number 28. The continuing part 3 of Time Traveling Hero. And this one you would like because not only does it have Lex, it also has Superman. I did review this on Frontline, so I'll give it a briefing. Basically, Green Arrow is going to LexCorp because of the whole thing attack that happened in Washington, D.C. And Green Arrow thinks that Lex Luthor is part of the Ninth Circle conspiracy. And he says that they approached him, but he told them to go to hell and whatnot because of their ways and stuff like that. And then in comes Superman, who actually is saving people jumping out of windows because there's some that was going on with their computers that basically getting people to kill themselves. I love this picture right here. This picture.
The artist did good with Superman.
The artist that did Superman and this whole book was drawn really excellent.
Nightwing a decent issue. Fun team with. I like Dick and Huntress. I will say that I like their back and forth. Not great. Agreed.
So Lex hears that this whole virus that's going on is by the Ninth Circle, and he wants to take care of that. What's going on? Henry Piff makes a 1, 2, 3 in and out issue in this one, and then Lex is helping people with the virus, transmitting messages of hope and love, which basically, from what the news anchor said, he gave every employee a raise, gifted out of his own salary.
Oh, wow.
which I thought was nice, Alexi. I like that. And this is what I like about Superman. What he says that even after the 9 circle ruins you, you still kept going, and that takes grit and heart, and that's what Traveler needs after today. This is the Superman.
I know it is. Somebody said something about
This
Green
is
Arrow.
the Superman that I liked.
Green Arrow was a good issue and a fun team up with Superman
Because
and
from
Green
what
Arrow.
I saw from
Kenneth
your,
agreed.
because what I saw from your New 52, this is the Superman I like. This one right here, because that's the good Superman. And also,
And if DC changes him again, they're crazy.
no,
Crazy.
I like. This is the one I like.
Leave
This one.
Superman alone now. You fixed him. Leave him alone.
Yeah, and then Lex says thank you, Green Arrow, and it looks like that now he's going to go into Gotham City. And you know what that means? Batman might be in the next one. And I like how the Justice League is helping Green Arrow to show him that he's still a great person and trying to change him in a good way. That's one thing I like about the heroes that he once was with.
Now, I'm not complaining. I enjoyed Batman 28, but I have a question for you guys. Doesn't this story feel like it's slow? I feel like the story is going so slow. The issue opens up with Inspector or Commissioner Gordon going to 2 different places. One is to the Joker, and the other is to the Riddler. And they know that this gang war is going on. They know this gang war is going on. Boomerang, no one. Oh, it's leading GA and GL meeting in issue 3. Oh, that's cool. In issue 30. Again, I feel like nothing really happened deep in this book. So basically, Joker and Riddler want Commissioner Gordon to give them Batman. Each of them, one of them, Batman. Riddler wants Batman, and Joker wants Batman. So if Commissioner Gordon gives the Batman to Joker, he'll leave Gotham, and that's it. Same with the Riddler. And the problem is, Joker has bombs all over Gotham, and Riddler has all pedestrians being aimed at by his people. So now what's going to happen? We get a nice, I love the classic-looking Catwoman we get to see. And obviously Bruce is telling this story to Catwoman, so they're having a back and forth about that situation or that moment that, you know, what she was doing and what he knew she was doing but played stupid to. Batman, a better issue than last few. The story moved along a bit. Great to see Cat. I love the debt. I was just saying that. And well addition to see Batman. Decent story, good artwork. So anyway, what happens is Bloodshot and Deathstrike, right? Yeah, Deathstrike.
Yeah.
Deadshot and Bloodshot. No, Deadshot and Bloodshot end up in this huge feud that lasted 5 days. Now, obviously, this one is for Riddler. This one, I believe, is for Joker.
Wait a minute.
They ended in this huge fight.
Oh.
Went through Gotham for 5 days. So many people got hurt and injured. And then Batman jumped in, finally caught on to both of them, beat the crap out of both of them, and almost killed Bloodshot. He almost killed Bloodshot, was it? I believe he almost killed Bloodshot.
Deathstroke versus Deadshot.
Deathstroke versus Deadshot. Thank you. Why do I want to say Bloodshot? Bloodshot is in.
That's Valiant.
That's Image.
Bloodshot?
There's 2 Bloodshots. Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say.
Thank you, Tevye. Deathstroke versus Bloodshot.
Too many deads.
Deathshot. Yeah, too many deads. Really, too many deads. Not Bloodstrike. Thank you, Tevye. See, this is where my mind is. My mind is everywhere. It was Deathstroke versus Deadshot, and Deadshot got beaten up real bad by Batman. And really, I feel like nothing happened except, you know, we now know that each one of them wants Batman, and they'll end their side of the war if they get Batman, and the war is tearing Gotham up. So now Batman has to figure out how to stop this war from happening. Well, Tevye got names correct. Yeah, Bloodshot is Valiant. Yes, I don't know why I have Bloodshot on the mind, but it was a good fight, and Batman ended it all. Finally, this week, Superman 28, the history lesson for the first part of this issue continued. And as much as I love the artwork, I will say the artwork, I did enjoy the artwork. I'll show a couple more stills. It was back to, we were at the Capitol building, a lot of dialogue. So if you want to hear more about history and whatnot, go right ahead. There was tons of reading in this book. It took me, I believe this book was one of my longer books because it just kept going. The history lesson kept going and going and going all the way through until the middle of the book finally, where they bump into this wonderful group of people who are celebrating a Confederate soldier's birthday. He ended up going missing after a flood. Dead, blood, wolf, death, strike. It's the Liefeld conundrum. It's true. Superman, another good issue. Good filler issue. Not a ton happened, but this was more about Clark, Lois, and John as a family and going out on a road trip. Always fun, good story. Kenneth, I'll agree with you, but at the same time, it got boring until, like I said, halfway through the book, where we see this family, and the guy's like, we don't know where his body is, but we know he was there. He never got recovered. So Superman, being the person he is, going back to why I love Superman pre-New 52, goes and finds the body. Like, you hear the story, and he knows where the body drifted off. He finds the body, Deathstroke, oh my God, and brings him back to the family. That was the most awesome part of this entire book, and really, truly what made this book something really special for me, because that's Superman. And now, Metropolis is 30 miles away. The filler story arc, or it didn't really feel like a long family, like a road trip. I thought the road trip was going to be 2 months.
Wasn't it only 2 issues?
I guess so, because now they're going to Metropolis. What's up, Brevin? Wow, this is the most love I heard about Superman. Dude, Superman is amazing. Now that they brought the original Superman back, it's back to being the way it always should have been. Also had a great variant cover, Batman by Neil Adams. I saw it. I missed it. I feel bad I missed it, Kenneth. I really did. But Superman, half and half. Half the book, I felt like I understand, and I agree with you, Kenneth. This is more about the family building and just being together, the family going out and having a wonderful road trip, and not all about them moving. It was about them just bonding as a family, and I got that aspect. But man, when they started talking about things that I learned about in junior high school and high school, it was like, and you saw there was so much dialogue. I think this would be great for a younger kid to read, especially if he didn't know all this history. He could scoop his friends when they learn this in school. He'd be like, hey, I read this in Superman. I already know what happened. Boom. So, I mean, there's a positive, but at the same time, for people like me that know a lot about this already, it's like, okay. Superman is one of my favorite titles right now. Superman in action. Action is my #1 favorite. I hope we get some more Superman in action comics stories soon in Rebirth. I think that's what they're aiming towards, because now they're going to Metropolis. I missed that in Rebirth. Yeah, I think they're aiming to that finally. History lesson part 2. Exactly. But it's over. They're going to Metropolis. Next issue is Parallax. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, is that big purple guy?
I don't know. No, that's Parallax. Parallax is the guy that Hal Jordan became, the evil entity, the yellow entity.
Oh, I'm thinking of Parasite. Oh, yeah.
History lesson from Superman.
That's who it is, right?
Oz is next. Oh, I can't wait. I already got those lenticular covers for October for Oz. What?
Why is Parallax in that?
I don't know. Guest appearance. I love this story. It's amazing. I truly did enjoy Superman. I enjoyed Batman. I guess I just have minor complaints about story moving forward. I mean, Batman, I just feel like we didn't get a lot, but at the same time, we got a good, I don't know. It's hard to explain. We didn't move super forward, but at the same time, we did move forward. We got to see Catwoman in the 90s costume or the 80s costume again. Superman, we got to see that awesome part at the end, but the beginning was very history lesson-ish, but it was a good family issue. It's hard. It's hard because it's good, but there are aspects of it that were like, oh, I'm reading, and it's like, come on, let's get through it's like so much dialogue and so much reading. It's like come on, let's move forward from this. And that's honestly my only little complaint with all the books. Either it didn't move too much, or it had a lot of filler parts in the book. But all in all, it was a good week. Truly and honestly was a good week. I felt like Green Lanterns could have been a little better. I feel like it was really just setting up Simon and Jessica training the Green Lanterns. Iron Fist, I wish they would get away from Chow Sin already, but I feel like he's going to be a lingering thing for a little while longer. This was a short week, but a really fun week. I will say that. I don't know what I'm going to put as the worst pick. I truly and honestly don't, because I really don't feel like anything was a worst pick this week, because again, I enjoyed every issue, so I'm probably going to skip the worst pick because I don't have a lowest pick either. It's hard. Maybe I would say Green Lanterns, just because I don't feel like a lot happened. I'll have to go through my books again and make triple sure I didn't miss something. Maybe. But anyway, that's it for this review, guys. We are done here. As always, If you're new, hopefully you'll click that sub button. We do these reviews every Monday unless otherwise mentioned on my Twitter, DarkAvengerC86, or twitter.com/DarkAvengerC86. Also, if you like gaming, Lawbreakers is dropping. It is 11:36 Eastern right now. It's dropping at 12 a.m. Eastern, which is a half hour from now. I will be streaming at launch. Got the game, pre-ordered it, shared it on my gaming Twitter already. So if you are interested in checking out Lawbreakers, come over to my Twitch. I will be streaming there, twitch.tv/DarkAvengerC86. I'll be Twitch streaming there. The flashback bat suit looks so much better than the current bat suit. I will agree to that, Justin. Great show, as always, guys. You have a great night. Yep, Generations work. Yeah, well, you know what? Generations is a bit low for me also, Jesse, so that might actually be. Got to see. I got to go through all my books and make sure that would be my lowest one, though. But anyway, that's it, guys. Have a great week. We will be back next week with another comic review. Didn't do a haul this week because it's a small pile of books. Next week, I will have the haul back up and running. We'll have a nice-sized haul on Comic Frontline. Frontline Live is coming up tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 9:45 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. There is no Media Madness this week, to my knowledge, but there is a Dark Avenger Live this Friday. If you did not comment on the last haul video on Comic Frontline and you'd like to ask questions, mention about comics or anything, feel free to. I will be answering comments in my next haul video if there are comments. Right now, there are no comments. If you guys want to leave any comments on the haul video, I'll read your comments off on this week's haul video, which is getting a legacy numbering. You'll find out what that number is when we get there. Also, don't forget to follow my other Twitter, which is D-Avenger Gaming. That's connected to my Twitch if you're interested in gaming. If you're not, then don't worry about it. But there's a lot of stuff coming out. So, till then, guys, take care. Keep reading, keep collecting. We'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Later, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Have a great night.